What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. We're going to take a look at Firo. I have been away I was just away yesterday, was just at the hospital getting some tests done for Abby, but everything's come back positive, so let's get on with the video. So we're taking a look at the monthly time frame on Firo, and we can see we're still printing technically. Well, obviously this is an open candle, so we can't make judgments yet. However, we're still higher than this lowest point, so until we lose this, we're good for continuation. You flip this resistance point into support, and you can see this in the past was acting as support as well, just over here. Wicks downwards, downwards, downwards over here. Yeah, you lost it, got back above, lost it again, got back above, lost it again, got back above, and eventually now have confirmed it as support again. So all of this mumbo jumbo was just nonsense, basically. It was all here to confuse you, and so you can see you flip that resistance into support, which was done in the past, and now you're confirming that as support with all these wicks showing you strength. Look over here, massive wicks to the downside, pump, wicks to the downside, pump, wicks to the upside, dump, wicks to the upside, pump, wicks to the downside, wicks to the upside here, dump. So while we're going to get wicks to the downside and pump, basically, and with that I'd like to see pump, exhaustion, continuation, and breaking these highs, but we need to look at the here and now before we even get into that. So let's turn on the drawings, let's look at the weekly time frame. So I'm going to get rid of the indicators. So on the weekly time frame, I was talking to you guys about this falling wedge, I think over a week ago now, but it doesn't look correct on the weekly. However, if we go to the daily, you can see that it's hitting the bodies here nicely, and so for the daily time frame, this is correct, and your technical target would be here. But let's now do it on the weekly time frame, see what the technical target is. So you'd actually do it from the bottom down here through these points, and you can see support, 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 lost it, flipped it into resistance, and so your technical target would actually now be the low over here, which we've actually met. So could this rising wedge technical target have been met? Potentially. So I'm now gonna get rid of these lines. I'm going to go through the daily time frame for you. I think I am seeing some positive things. Let's turn on. No, we don't even need the moving averages, to be honest, guys. Let's just look at price action for what it is. So we got this head and shoulders neckline. I think in the past we've gone through how we had one over here and your technical target was never met. Now I have been giving you this head and shoulders, and of course it seems like the technical target hasn't been met, but I just want to double check that we have been doing it right. Basically, before we get into that, I'm just going to put the fibs back in, and we know with Firo, not on every chart do we get these massive wicks, so it's probably best with Firo and small cap coins, micro cap coins, when you're using the fibs, just to do them from the body. So from the swing low down here to the swing high up here, and just drag it across. So you can see now, which we've gone through in the past, that we're bouncing off that 0786. I think in my last video we had 3 days, or 3 wicks, and then 3 days of wicks, rejecting that 786. And now yesterday, oh my gosh, I really like how yesterday closed off. I think this pump the day before was the Fed news, and then we come back down, try and find support, which we've done again on that 0786. And you can see this red candle here is looking very, very, very similar to this red candle over here. It's just the bodies are a little bit thinner, and because we've got wicks to the upside but are shorter to the wicks to the downside, I would personally call this a bullish hammer. So if the body was a bit thinner, sorry, I'm not calling it a bullish hammer, I mean it's a bullish spinning top, because we have wicks to the upside. If we had no wicks at all, or hardly any wicks to the upside, I would call it a bullish hammer. But in this case, bullish spinning top. To be honest, guys, they're the same thing. They have the exact same meaning. So as long as you're seeing it in the chart and you're seeing it at support, this is valid, because you're coming down, you printed at support. Only at support will it reverse the trend. Or if you're in an uptrend already, so you come up in an uptrend, you fall into support, you got 2, green and the red one just there, and then you've continued up, basically. So in an uptrend, you want to find them on the higher lows, which are going to continue your trend, or at support at the bottom of a downtrend. If you do see them, let me get an example. If you do see them at resistance, let me find a better one. Okay, we're just going to go over this one. Can you see this green one over here? If you see it at resistance, it's not a spinning top or a hammer, it's a hanging man, and that's why we've come down. So that's what I'm seeing right now for Firo. I can see that we have met the 0786. Last time we got down here and printed a spinning top or bullish hammer, whatever you want to call it. We had an amazing pump. Let's just check from the bodies to the bodies, because again, we're going to ignore the wicks. So that was a 92% pump. Could we get something similar? What I do like is the amount of wicks going through the 786, meaning that the bears for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 5 days in a row. The bears have been trying to push you below that 0.786, and for 5 days in a row you were below, but the bulls stepped in, showing you the strength in Firo, the strength of the bulls to push you back above that 0.786, and with that you are printing higher lows. You can see low, higher low. I think that's sort of in line, slightly under, but let's take a look at some divergences, see what there is. So I'm going to have to turn on the indicators again so we can see. Okay, so is that lower? No, it's higher. Okay, so let's zoom into this bit to see if there's any bullish divergences just in this area. So okay, so the lowest point in the RSI was here, where we actually came down to that 30, just a little bit below, I think about 29. And so this is the oversold territory. This means that we're overextended to the downside, and soon, not instantly, but soon we should start seeing ourselves come back up, maybe to test some key levels of resistance, potentially the 20 or the 55 EMA. It just basically says that we're going to now have a relief rally or a new trend, basically. So I can see that this was actually our lowest point over here. So, oh no, sorry, this was the lowest point I'm talking about on the RSI. But then on the chart, this was your lowest point, and on the RSI, that was slightly higher than this point. So on the RSI, I'm seeing higher lows, just like that. But on the chart in that exact same location, if we just go up, yeah, there to there, yeah, exactly. So on the chart, you're having lower lows, but on the RSI, you're having higher lows. So for me, this is called hidden bullish divergence, because it's not showing you in the chart that we're going up, but the RSI is telling me over here on this candle, we bottomed out. And so, yeah, we're rolling over, but the RSI is now printing higher lows. So this should basically mean that we should start seeing Firo come up, and it's a very nice area to come up, because remember guys, we said that it's so important for Firo to stay above this $5 zone, or so to say $4.73, so about $5.25. We just want to stay above this level basically, and we've gone through why potentially you've already met that weekly rising wedge target, and we're going to go through this head and shoulders to see if we have actually met the target. You can see now we're slightly off it. This was at $4.43 and we wicked down to $4.54, right? But I think that actually my head and shoulders neckline is incorrect after just playing around with it. I'm going to put the first point on there because we're looking at the bodies, and I think this is definitely a fake out. So let's just put it back to how it was. You can see that if this is a fake out over here, I should be putting the pink line on the bodies rather than just the wicks, because that's what I'm doing over here. So I have to do that again. So I'm going to put it on that red body, and I'm going to drag it up to that red body over there. Yeah, for me that's a bit more correct, because look, you've come down, smacked it as support, next candle directly as support, come up, come back down with the wicks. Look, a nice touch over there, where I think before, yeah, you were missing it completely. So that's why I think that this is correct now. So if that is so, I think the technical target would still be the same. No, it'd be a bit lower. So we would remember with microcaps, we're just looking at the body. So from the highest point back to the neckline over here, put that on the breakout, and let's see if that technical target has been met. Let's get that exact. Oh my gosh. Oh, close enough for me. So yeah, you can see now your technical target has been met, but that was only met from yesterday's potential spinning top or bullish hammer, whatever you want to call it. I would say that this green one is more of a bullish hammer, and this red one here and that one is more of a spinning top. I would say that this green one over here in the middle is sort of a doji, and whenever you see all of these candlestick patterns printing at support, it's usually signs for a reversal, or at least a relief rally, because again, when we're in a downtrend, which we are in, look, you have a high, have a low, you have a lower high, then a lower low, then a lower high, then a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So you are in a downtrend on the daily time frame. So when you are in a downtrend, bullish patterns tend to work in the short term or not at all. So that's why it's the same for bullish candlestick patterns. So not just chart patterns, but bullish candlestick patterns. You could even say you have a double bottom here, one bottom, neckline, two bottom, and then you failed to even break the neckline. You got above but couldn't hold it as support here, and then you rolled over. Why? Because we were creating lower highs and lower lows. Can you see that? And that is why it's not panned out, because in a downtrend, W's or bullish patterns tend to not work or work in the short term. So it's the same for the candlesticks. We have multiple. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment. We can't make a judgment on this green candle at the moment. but from printed candles, we have 4 bullish candlestick patterns. And so I am liking that. So does that mean we're going to have a relief rally, or are we going to start a new trend? Over here, I think you started a new trend with a high, a low, higher high, and eventually made a lower low, lower high, lower low. So it's all about holding this support now, trying to work our way back through these fibs. And so let's see if it can end up bullish. We now have technically met this pattern. So what happens after you meet a technical target out of a pattern is you form a new pattern. Is that going to be another bearish one or a bullish one? Because we're at the 786, because we've had multiple bounces, and in the past we've had a bounce, I would like to see Firo start going back up. And we have now spotted that bullish divergence, which is amazing. So let's now take a look at the 4 hourly. So I'm going to turn on the moving averages now. So we got caught under the 200 EMA, which is basically saying that we're in a downtrend on the 4 hour time frame. So this is negative, of course it is. But every time you've come away from all of the EMAs, you've eventually come back to them. Pulled away, come back to them, pulled away, come back to them, pulled away, come back to them. And so this is what we're basically doing until we can eventually flip the trend. And that's what we've potentially done now. I can see 2 bullish spinning tops right here, these 2 green ones at support. So with this green spinning top, you've actually met your technical target, which is amazing. So this is showing you the strength in Firo, because we were all the way down here. We lost the support, which we said we do not want to lose, guys. We did lose it, let's be real. We did lose it, but before that 4H candle closed, the bull stepped in and was like, no, Firo is here to stay at the moment anyway. Firo is here to stay at the moment. So of course we need to now see this hold. I would potentially say that this is some nice double bottom over here with the wicks making a lower low, but I think we just look at the bodies. So technically it's just like this nice double bottom. So I'm going to check the RSI. I have not looked at it yet. So this is your lowest point on the chart with the bodies, and actually it's not the lowest point with the RSI. So this over here was your lowest point in the RSI, ignoring this in the past, but just looking in this area here. This was your lowest point on the RSI, but it was actually not the lowest point with the bodies. With the bodies, you're having lower lows. So the chart is telling me it wants to continue down, but the RSI is clever because it's actually telling you we already bottomed out over here with the RSI. So we actually started making higher lows, but on the chart, after that, you got a lower low and then another lower low. So again, this is hidden bullish divergence. We've now seen that on the daily time frame and the 4 hour time frame. So I am liking the look of this at the moment. But of course, a lot of work to do. We need to come and break this resistance point, which is your double bottoms neckline. You got 1 bottom here, 2. Now, of course, I'm going to just use the wicks. Not the wicks, the bodies. So I'm going to measure from the bottom back to the neckline. And when we break this neckline, which I'll give you now, sitting at $5.35. Once we can break $5.35, I think we've got a technical target sitting at about $5.90, which would bring you back above this 0.618, which is what we'd like to see, because when you lost it, I did tell you guys that we're going to roll to that 0.786, and if we can confirm that as support, we should basically head to the 0.618 minimal. If we don't reach here, this would be your minimal target after this nicer higher low above the 0.786. Of course, if you lose the 0.786, we will roll over to the 1, because it's just fib level after fib level. Just like if you get above the 618, which this technical target is saying it will do, if you can confirm it as support, we should head to that 0.50. So this is all about support and resistance. Break support, you go to the next level below, down here. Break resistance, you go to the next level above. And this is what we're seeing right now. So that's your technical target. Let's get the fibs out. I'm going to ignore this wick because I'm not sure if it did occur on a different on different Firo charts. Sorry about that. So what I'm seeing at the moment, the fibs haven't basically confirmed the reversal, basically. What we'd like to see is for this to break above the 0.618, which is nicely in line with the double bottoms neckline. So that's some nice confluence for us. So we can see anyway, if we get above the 0.618, which we should be retracing to because you've held the 0.786, you went below, you confirmed that support with the wicks, and you actually formed higher lows. So that's telling me in the short term, we have this sort of uptrend in the short term. So we should head to this 0.618 at $5.73. But if we were to get above that and hold it as support, we will go to the 0.50 at $6.37. Not only are those fibs telling us that, but the smaller fibs are now telling us that. Remember, fibs do not lie. Hips don't lie, fibs don't lie, fibs don't tell fibs. So all these levels are here because they will be respected. It's just a matter of time. It's like we know it's going to happen if key levels of support are going to hold. We just don't know when. And this is, to be honest, guys, no one knows when the target's going to be met. Like, I can give you bull market targets, but no one here knows when the target will be met. It'll be hopium or just lying to you guys saying, oh yeah, it's going to get hit by December 25th, Christmas or whatever. But all I can tell you is if we're breaking above resistances, flipping them into support and holding them support levels, those key levels of support, then we should head to this target or to that target. So if we can get above this neckline and the 0618, you should see a minimal target at the 1, which is in line with the 0618 over here, $5.73. This actually takes us above that. So if we can then confirm this as support, we should head to that 1618, $6.50. And look where that's lining up with that 050. So you've got two reasons basically. Once you get to this zone over here, if we can confirm that as support, then we should head up to here. If you fail to then break above this area of 573 to 579, if you then come up to here and roll over, then I would like to see obviously the 55 4-hour EMA hold slash the 618 like this. If you were to come down, we need to see this hold. And so if you can see this hold, this will then bring a higher chance of us attempting to come back up and breaking that 0618, meeting this target out of the double bottom, and then rallying up if we can confirm the 0618 as support to the 050 with an overshoot to that 1618, where by the time we get up there, obviously I don't know where this would creep down to, probably around here. So we probably find resistance on the 050, but overshoot that to the 1618 and meet that target. Once you get up there, I'd like to find support potentially all the way back to the 1 or the 1.272. But guys, you can do your worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is if you roll over from the 1618, you can actually come all the way down to that 0618 over here and still eventually continue up. Of course, if you come up, form some dead cat bounce and get rejected here, then we're going to come back to the 0786. But if we and this is all potential, I'm just saying worst case you come back down to here. You don't have to. You can find support on the 1, you can find support over here. But as long as if we do lose that 1 and find support on either the 0786 or worst case that 0618, come back up and break above this, we will eventually see Firo even heading up higher, where if you do eventually come up above the 050 and the 200 EMA, we could eventually get to this 0382 at $7. But let's not look at that right now. Let's focus on the here and now. I'm just giving you potential scenarios. Of course, if you come back down to the 0618, form some sort of dead cat bounce in the short term where you bounce off this resistance point at the 618, then you could again roll over to that 786. And to be honest, guys, we don't want that. But look, if we go to the daily time frame, that would be creating a massive double bottom, a very nice bottoming out structure, and your neckline would be up here at the 1618 slash the 050. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making this video for you guys, so please smash the thumbs up button. Of course, subscribe. I know probably all of you Firo supporters are subscribed, so thank you so much for that. I will be doing my giveaway either tomorrow or Monday. I will be announcing the giveaway on the crypto course. But of course, always follow me on Twitter, guys. I urge all of you, because I don't think all of you are. That is where I post multiple updates in the day. If something changes in the chart, I'm not going to make another video on the same coin the same day. I'll do that update the next day. But if anything changes, like an invalidation of a pattern, that will be on Twitter. So make sure you got the notification bells on for YouTube and Twitter, so you get everything at the moment it's posted, because as we know, everything here is time sensitive. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. And as always, peace.